Hi, welcome to the Soundschi Land Show, where everybody's upside down.
Every day is upside down day in Soundschi land. Hi, so everybody can tell we're already having fun. I'm visiting the Lee brothers right now. If you haven't heard of them, please go to Instagram and follow them. It's Joshie Lee and Morgan Lee. And I have Josh with me right now.
Hey.
And it's actually crazy. They started like 3 years ago. So he actually did his first handstand 3 years ago, and he's doing crazy one-arm handstands right now. And we were having really interesting conversations about the mental game. So we're just gonna dive right into that. And my first question to you is, why is the mental game so important for people who want to learn handstands?
Yeah, so pretty much handstands is just at some point you jump up, you try to do something, and then you fall. And that's pretty much your life for about a year or two when you're trying to learn, especially the harder stuff in handstands. So yeah, if you don't have the right mental state of mind or kind of just mentality going into it, it can feel very frustrating, and it's very easy to give up and quit before you really see the benefit of all the hard work you put into it. So yeah.
So what kind of person would you have to be, or what kind of mindset would you have to have if you want to get to a really high level really fast?
Yeah, so
I mean, if you can get
really fast cheat codes. There's no real shortcut
right.
on pretty much anything in life, but handstands specifically, you just pretty much got to work hard every day. But there are some things that can help, and there are a couple mindsets, just kind of personality types that I've seen be really successful and work well for some people. So I'll just use myself and Morgan as two examples because we have very different personality types. So basically, Morgan is super confident, super alpha, just very sure of himself all the time. And he just believes that he can do it 100%, no matter what. No matter if he's fallen the last 100 times in a row, he still gets up and tries to, pretty much like in his heart, he knows he can do it, right? So then there's someone like me that I'm not as confident, I'm not as sure of myself. So what I do to compensate for that, or my personality type, my sort of mental game strategy is I'm very, very good at just grinding out the reps, or just having an idea of what I want to do. Say I'm going to do 50 triceps straddle one arm, and then I just can go do it for 50 times, and it doesn't matter if I fall, it doesn't matter if I do it. It's just like kind of like a numbers game, like getting the reps in. It's yeah.
But I find it really interesting because like you're two completely different people, Morgan and you. And I feel like he's more like, he doesn't think much about what he's supposed to do. He just goes at it. And I feel like you're more strategic about things. Or maybe you're just calmer. Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, well, so the thing about Morgan's mindset and that just like general personality type is that you can get very, very upset. Like say you are trying to do a figa and you believe that you can do it, and you do it, you try as hard as you possibly can, and you fall. There's this, Morgan's reaction can be like pretty upset, pretty angry sometimes. And mine, I don't really get angry when I do handstands. I'm, like you said, pretty calm and all that. And I think it's just because we're approaching it from a totally different way. We have just totally different ideas and how we think about it. So pretty much I go in, if I'm going to practice Figa for the day, I'm just going to say I'm going to do 10 reps of Figa on both sides, and I'm just going to do it. And whatever, obviously I'm going to try to hold it for as long as possible every single time, max it. But if I fall out of it, which happens all the time, then I'm not going to pitch a fit or anything, because I have this game plan, and I'm just literally just checking off 1 rep, 2 reps, 3 reps, all the way till I get to 10, and then I'm done. I go to the next thing. So there's no real. I don't understand why I would get mad at that, because I already have a plan. You know, I'm just following the plan, just like grocery shopping kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
it works well for me, but it's not for everybody. And I think there's a lot of different personality types that work. So Morgan's one, I'm one, and then a couple others that I know are. There's obviously nobody's only one way. We all have all of these different qualities in us, you know. But people have a tendency to be more a certain on a certain side of the spectrum, for sure. So yeah, there's other people. Like little kids are a really, really good example of this. They have a really interesting way to go about learning new skills. And I'm thinking more about like gymnastics, but I think this can apply to handbalancing too, where they have no experience with failure before. If their coach tells them to do something, they just do it, and they kind of have the best of everything because they don't get mad when they don't do it. They're just kind of confused, like what happened? Like I was supposed to do this. Oftentimes they just get it first try because they kind of like Morgan believe that they can do it, and they just go do it because their coach tells them to do it. They have no real experience of failure.
Yeah, they're just kind of curious.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's one way to go about it. That's very, very effective. And there's others that work well too, but we don't have to go into every single one.
Do you have is this something you have put a lot of thought into? Do you have like categories of mental mindsets?
Categories? No, I don't have. I haven't gotten
from the top of your head.
No, it's kind of in between somewhere. I haven't like become like Freud about this. Like I haven't like psychoanalyzed this, right, or anything. But I have noticed just through the last couple of years of practicing and training with a lot of like super amazing hand balancers, that there are just different kind of personality types that work really well. And these are just a couple of them. Yeah.
Is that something you talk about to Emmet, too?
He has an interesting take on this. He says that hand balancers and jugglers pretty much have to have the same kind of mindset, because in juggling you just juggle and you drop something and you have to go pick it up and you try again and you drop it over and over again. It's pretty much like you do a one arm, you drop your shoulder, you fall out of the handstand, you jump back up and try again. So very similar. And I think he might agree with me on stuff, but we don't always see eye to eye on everything. So yeah, he'd be a great guy to interview, by the way. He's got
I should try to get a hold of him. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I'm sure he would do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try that. So how does Emmet treat you as students in terms of mindset?
It's really interesting. You should ask him on the interview, and I don't know if he does this consciously or not, but he's got a really interesting approach to this. We've actually never talked about it before, but basically what he does is he never thinks about you in any one specific way for longer than maybe a day or so. He's always constantly updating what he thinks you can do with what you can do on that specific day. And so he's always telling me, oh, I can do this, your body's ready to do this, you can pretty much just do this. And a good example is one-arm handstand press. He basically just says, you guys can do this now. And he thinks of us as students, as people, as hand balancers that can already do this skill. He doesn't think about us as people that cannot do this skill.
Even though you've never done it before.
Exactly, yeah. So I try to incorporate that into my handstand mental game toolbox, sort of, where so if people ask me, can you do a one-arm press? I say, well, I haven't done it yet, but I think that I can. I don't say no, because if you pigeonhole yourself and think about yourself in a very specific way for a long period of time, you have a much more difficult time learning new things, changing who you are. And people are always changing, and you're always different every day. So might as well take advantage of that little trick and try to think about yourself as someone who, so say you're learning how to just do a one-arm handstand straddle. You can, instead of saying, no, I can't do it, you can come into training each day thinking of yourself as someone that might be able to do it this day, or is in the process of going from not being able to do it to being able to do it. And that's a big spectrum. There's a broad in between, and that's somewhere where you are. And basically by incorporating this kind of little mental cheat, you can learn much, much faster.
Yeah, I really like that. So it's basically like just opening up to the possibility that you'll get it, or like just knowing that you will get it.
Yes.
Eventually, if you just follow the process.
Pretty much, yeah. And constantly thinking of yourself as different than you were the day before. Just kind of evaluating where you're at.
I totally love that, because also I feel like hand balancing is a kind of practice where if you follow the steps and if you follow the process, it will give you the results.
Yeah.
So pretty easy to do it actually.
Yeah,
right?
pretty easy.
I mean, not everybody progresses as fast as you guys, but
Yeah, some people faster.
yeah, but everybody can progress.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are your plans for the future? Where do you see yourself with Handbalance?
Before you came, it wasn't really like a huge. You've kind of like brought it out of me again. It's not a huge part of my life. Like, I've been practicing about like maybe 1 hour in the mornings a day, and then just go off and do the rest of my life. But it's really nice that you're here because we're just doing handstands all the time together,
Yeah.
and I realize how much I love it. And yeah, so I've been thinking about that ever since you got here. Ever since we started doing a lot of handstands, pretty much like many hours a day, right?
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, I don't have like a set answer, but I definitely see it as being part of my life, probably for as long as I can do it, just because it's so much fun and yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What were your intentions when you first started?
Oh yeah, like Morgan and I were gonna just develop a duo hand balancing act and perform it, for whoever would watch, pretty much, and then go from there. And
I think you should really stick with that. You
Yeah.
should go for that.
we've
because-
done that a lot already, and it's
Yeah.
really fun. And then I had an injury, and we had to put it on the back burner.
Right. Yeah. What happened? It was your wrist, right?
Yeah, I cut myself really bad. I don't know if you can see, but
Looks so bad.
yeah.
Yeah. How long did you have to take a break?
A couple months. I would try to do some stuff on my left hand a little bit, and it ended up catching up to my right, so that was good. A lot of really great things came from this, even though I thought my life was over. But yeah, it's really interesting how injuries and setbacks can have a very positive overall net impact on your life. So.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, but I think we would stop talking about handstands so much, but I can try to keep it about handstands.
But that
so-
might be interesting though, unless you don't want to.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so basically, I think I was when I do something, I do it with 100%. I don't do anything halfway. It's like I'm either doing something or I'm not doing something.
Yeah.
There's no in between. So when I was doing handstands, I was really doing handstands. And I got I think I was too zoomed in to the hands. I thought that handstands were like the only thing that mattered in my life, and that I got a lot of self-worth out of being like whatever level I am at handstands. And then when I got hurt and I couldn't do handstands, I was like, I had to really take a step back, and I was like, wow, I have all these other skills or values as a human being that's just not doing handstands. And that was really exciting for me to think about and discover and just develop other qualities in my life outside of just handstands, flexibility and training and stuff like that. And it kind of led to me just getting a lot of satisfaction and just feeling like a valuable human being in other ways that are not just like being good at handstands or whatever that means.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can totally relate to that.
You can? Yeah.
Well,
Is it
yeah, I had to
similar?
quit skating, and
Mhm.
it was the only thing in my life, literally the only thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm back in handstands right now. So you're just making me think right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's very fun to be so into something and so obsessed.
it is. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
addictive.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have the right kind of, I guess going back to personality types, like if you have the right personality type, handstands can be super obsessive because you really can never master it. So it's like you always can do something better. And
Yeah.
so if you're trying to be perfect at whatever it is you're trying to do, it's like kind of a never-ending battle. But if you're really, really obsessed and like into it, it's basically very easy to lose yourself. Long story short, like you can get lost in handstands very easily.
It is. But it's so weird that some people just get so hooked, and then some people, like Eva, for example, or
Mhm.
Morgan's girlfriend,
Yeah,
they're just not interested at all.
it is. Do you think that has something to do with these like personality types, or just general mentality?
Maybe.
Mhm.
I have no idea. It's
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It does kind of take like being hooked to develop a lot of different handstand elements, just new skills and stuff. Because if you aren't hooked, you just don't care enough to put in the grueling time and all
Yeah. And maybe you have to be an obsessive kind of person. You know, a person that gets hooked to things really easily.
that. I think so.
Yeah. Probably. It takes a lot of practice. Definitely.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It was
Yeah,
so great
yeah.
having you on the show.
That was so fun. Thank you.
Yeah, and we will definitely do some more handstands together.
Great.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next Monday. Keep it playful. You know the world is your playground, so just do whatever you love. Next week, we'll be talking to Morgan. It'll be really interesting to hear about his perspective on things. So, see you next Monday on the Soundschi Show. Just go for it.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's just so funny.
What are you doing?
Why are you talking to me?
It's okay.
I'm sorry. That was really my bad. It was just so funny.
Like he's just creeping around.